You guys ever wonder what a vehicle matchup between Max and Jess would be like? Well, look no further. Here you go. So, I'm going to talk about both of the COs at the same time, since both of them, when they're aggressive, do have somewhat of the same strategy of just bash their tanks up against yours. Jess and Max both get a firepower increase to vehicles. So the only difference is Jess gets a 10% increase, and it is like ground-based vehicles. So artillery and tanks will get it. Whereas Max, he's direct combat, meaning his battlecopters will also get that advantage, along with his submarines. But who's using submarines? So, and that's a problem with Jess, because not only does Max get that benefit with his battlecopters, he also gets 20% firepower versus the 10% that Jess gets. And Jess can circumvent the 2-hit property kill by getting the comm tower, which on this map is in a very, very safe location. The interesting thing is just the other types of ways that these two COs can play. Max can be very, very patient, and so can Jess, but Jess can be more defensive than Max can, considering that Jess has potential to have really, really good walls. She doesn't get a defense bonus like Sturm does or anything. No, not in the slightest. But when she gets turbocharge ready, or hell, even overdrive, her artillery, which is nestled in the back of her walls, hit hard. Oh man, I have fun with this matchup. I really do. I think out of all the COs in the lower tiers between Max, I do think Jess has potential. I do think Jess can actually brawl with Max fairly well. She just has to be smart about it, is the thing. So, let's go ahead and get started on this. We're on Amber Valley version 2. I don't know what happened to the other versions. Probably more lively than what this one does. I don't know, I guess Sturm got a hold of this area. I don't know. But go ahead and get in those bases right there quickly. You always want to go for your neutral bases. Always, always, always. No matter what. And over on my weak side, you see me going for the contested properties right then and there. It's only, typically you don't want to go for the contested properties right then and there, but it's only 1 turn away, well, 2 turns away from the main base. I might as well. And I'm immediately going to go with recon over on my strong side. That way to prevent Chilchurpusanu. How in the world do you say that? No, just Max. Now I can somewhat prevent Max from getting it, but he immediately builds a tank on his weak side, which is exactly what I want, actually. You always want to force a vehicle on your opponent's weak side, because that'll keep your weak side, that'll keep your weak side without a vehicle, but also reinforcing your strong side with a vehicle. And that's always a good thing. And he immediately follows it up with another tank. So I'm sitting here going, okay, this is good for me. This is very good for me. I know. Well, and that's a stupid move for me. I should have just attacked with the recon. Yeah, I should have just attacked with the recon. Like, if I could have saved a little bit of health on that infantry. Every single bit of health matters in this matchup, because Max is very, very good at breaking through walls, which, as a defensive Jess, that's pretty much what she wants to do. And a third tank. Whew. But by going for that recon, it does allow me to have a property strike. And I did it without the comp tower. Ugh. If you're going for if you're capping a comp tower, always get the comp tower first before you attack. I'm gonna follow up with a third tank because Max hurts. He hurts a lot. I'm lucky that he went ahead and brought that tank back for repairs. Because if he didn't, my tank would have been bye-bye. And then tank on his strong side. And you're basically just going to see a brawl happen over on this side. Which, hey, it's Max. That's the name of the game. But I'm also going to go ahead and get artillery on my weak side. Weak side, that's typically you want to go for defensive type units. Artillery is definitely a defensive type unit. Usually. Bit of tanks that he's having to do quite a bit of repairs. But at the same time, I'm also being drained of repairs as well. But I do get to go ahead and get the first tank kill, which is always a good thing against a Max. You do want to try to limit how many vehicles Max has. The less vehicles that Max has, the better for you. Yeah, nice solid little wall. That wall will actually hold up. It will. And battlecopter. Oh boy, the battlecopters start. And he also base skipped to get that battlecopter. There's 2 empty bases right now, and they're both on the strong side. They are. So at least there's that. You never want a base skip. Unless you absolutely need something. But in this case, he didn't absolutely need something. He really didn't. Move my artillery just like it. Then he's also going to use max force. He's brawling. He takes out a tank. He takes out 2 tanks. And he's being really aggressive. But at the same time, what he just did. He ran one of his tanks directly in range of my artillery. He's basically just charging forward, which as Max you don't want to do. Especially when you're going up against another CO that has pretty much the exact same powers that Max has. But this artillery, oh boy, oh boy. And this is a dead tank. Go ahead and interrupt that capture as well, because I do not want my money to be spent on Max's vehicles. And then I'm getting another anti-air. There's only one battlecopter, yes, but my one anti-air is actually in a position to where it can lose a bit more health. So I will go ahead and get my anti-air. And this is also a Max. He loves battlecopters. And that's exactly why. He's going to go ahead and get a free hit and a free kill with that as well. Artillery, stop it! But I'm definitely going to go ahead and get that recon with my artillery, because my goodness, This guy loves throwing vehicles into my indirects. And this is basically just cleanup right now. And I'm going to be the first one to tech up as well. So I'm going to try to force a medium tank from over on his weak side. Medium tanks are actually fairly good units. They really are. They're worth the money. They're worth the tech up. Because it forces a response from your opponent. Yes, some COs can deal with medium tanks with regular tanks, Jess being one of them, depending on where the medium tank is. Max is definitely, and if Jess can handle it, then Max definitely can with his tanks. With Jess, she has multiple options. Max, he can use Max Force. And if my medium tank is stuck on the road, well. It's not the best solution, I'm not going to say it is, but at the same time, it is a solution. And then he's also going by anti-air, which I don't really get. I have yet to build a single battlecopter. Don't buy anti-air unless your opponent actually starts buying battlecopters. Like, one battlecopter, okay, yeah, fine. You have other ways to deal with a battlecopter. And once they buy 2 battlecopters, okay. That's when you go in with the artillery. Not the artillery. No, don't fire artillery at a battlecopter, please, don't, you'll miss. But that's when you go in with the anti-air. Try to save you a little bit of money, as people will actually try to use the battlecopter to bait multiple anti-airs with just the one. So as soon as that second anti-air comes out, that battlecopter has already earned itself in because you're still producing more tanks. And I'm going to go with double artillery. Double arty. Because at this point, I've seen that this max pulled back. This is my chance to actually start forming a wall. Because if I can hold on to everything, we're tied in income. And I have the unit count. I have killed more units than Max has done to me. You can tell by him having 18 units and me having 24 units right now. Okay, fine, 20 and 24. But this is my opportunity to get a good wall going. And this is kind of a match. This is kind of a point to where the match stalls a little bit. And I see that my opponent just got 3 infantry, so I was like, okay, fine. You want to go ahead and get like a whole bunch of money saved up? I'll do the same. Whenever you see your opponent go ahead and do this, do the exact same thing back. Because that means they're going to save up for something really, really big. And if they get that really, really big thing, then you're not going to be able to do a single thing about it if you spent your money on the previous turn. And I'm going to go ahead and do a cute little thing on the right. I'm going to get that property. And if he uses a tank to go and get it, bye-bye tank. I am allowing that infantry to get a free hit on one of mine, but that infantry being there ensures that I get that property without a counterattack. And he is front shifting all of his units over to his weak side and buys a Neo tank. Yeah, but now that I got that property, I don't need my units over there anymore. And this artillery right here, it's actually blocking Max from getting it, which is very, very nice. And since he went ahead and bought another Neo tank, I'm going to go ahead and get another medium tank. So long as medium tanks get the first strike, They are very good counters to Neo tanks. They're very cheap, and on base damage, they go even with each other, which is actually really good when you think about it. Neo tanks cost 22k, medium tanks cost 16k. So, and if your medium tank is on a property, it's going to take less damage. And if it's on one of your properties, it's going to get healed up next turn, which is also very, very nice. And this guy is refusing to come in now, which I find hilarious. And I'm just going to keep going in with the medium tanks. I want to slowly try to get some of my forces together. I don't want all my forces to be like 2 giant masses. No. You want your forces to be all one giant thing, if possible. But you also don't want to leave your properties behind. You want to leave a skeleton crew. Just enough to a point to where I can defend. And the second Neo tank. I got 27k saved up. I can go ahead and do something else. But I see that all his tanks have been pulled far back. I'm going to be, okay, bring some of those tanks back over here. Because I'm going to start threatening his property over on the left. And this has been just rearranging my wall, basically. I'm trying to invite this Max to come in because he was so aggressive earlier. But now he's being the exact opposite. And those tanks did not come in the slightest. Which is good because it allows my tank, my anti-air, and my tanks to go ahead and just pick off some infantry. Which, that's always a nice thing. And this ball's just getting stronger and stronger with each passing turn. And even though it's only a 1k difference, that 1000 will build up eventually. But Neo tank over on his strong side now. Now I need a response over on my weak side. And I'm forced to have to retreat. That's a max Neo tank. 130 power naturally with that comm tower. I'm not messing with that. Yeah, so this guy's got 3 Neo tanks and I got 4 medium tanks. 5 medium tanks. Which, don't get me wrong, 2 medium tanks is enough for 1 Neo tank. It really is. But also, since this guy is being stally, I'm going to go ahead and invest in rockets. Rockets, they're good for late game. They are, especially when you get to situations like these. Because rockets will allow you to sort of poke at your opponent's wall. Sort of, Grit will have a much easier time of doing this. Maybe even Jake as well. Just because of their long reach of 6 tiles instead of the 5. Jess can also make use of it with her increase in firepower. And rockets, like, your opponent has to be a little bit more careful depending on where those rockets are. Because if that rocket can fire, then there's a chance that your wall might fail. And this guy is being very careful. Like, neither of us have even our regular power ready, and he's being super careful. And he buys 2 anti-air, which, again, I have yet to build a single battlecopter. I haven't built a single aerial unit at all. And this kind of like desensitizes me from actually doing that. Anti-air, yeah, they're great for taking out like infantry, but that's all they're basically just more expensive recons at that point. Like if your entire goal is to knock out my infantry, just build recons. Or hell, build more tanks. You're already spending 8K. And oh boy. Oh boy. This wall just keeps getting... It keeps getting something. I'll say that much. But even though I'm pulling back, my rocket is still guarding that property. So he still can't get anything from it. And I keep pulling back just slight little bit. And another anti-air. Stop with the anti-air. You have 5 of the stupid things, and I haven't built a single battlecopter. And I do see a weakness in his wall over here. His Neo-Tank is on a road. Look what I have in range. And like I said, this is 5-5 naturally. Like I said earlier. If that tank was on a property, it would take back less damage. Both of these were on roads. Like, Jess is capable of brawling with Max. She just has to be smart with it. And I'm also going to go ahead and build a Neo of my own. Because if this Max... Because this is like... With how aggressive this Max has been, I'm expecting this Max to get... Like... I'm expecting this Max to actually come in with Max Force. Where I can retaliate with Overdrive. Because with Overdrive, this Neo Tank will actually reach the spot that this medium tank was in. And it will kill it. But what happens instead is this guy pulls back the Neo Tank. He builds a medium tank. Oh my god, dude. I get it, this is a scary force that Jess has built up, but my goodness. My dear God. This is day 24, and I'm 1 away from hitting the unit cap. We both are. And I'm sitting there going like, alright, 4 battlecopters. I got 2 anti-air. I'm going to build my last unit as an anti-air. Because I need to spread out my anti-air that way they're not all in one freaking clump. Because if they're all in one clump, there's nothing that can prevent Max from coming with every single one of his area units and completely screwing up my tanks. Or even worse, my artillery. And I am expecting, like, a push. I really am. With Max Force, those anti-air can actually one-shot those infantry that are on the silos. They can. They absolutely can. So I'm bringing back my rocket. I'm bringing back my artillery. And, like, what happens instead? Nothing. Nothing happens instead. Nothing happens instead. You can't make this up. Like, you absolutely cannot make this up. I'm gonna go ahead and pick off a few of this infantry, because if I can do that, then there's a chance I might be able to break through that wall. Just a tiny little bit. Because Jess also has potential to break through walls. She does. And yes, you did see that right. I did just knock off one of my units. Why? I'm building a mega tank. This game has gone on for far long, and I'm like, okay, I need to do something. Because this guy is slowly pushing down. Like, I have gone into a defensive nature right now with my artillery and rockets. They are not good at the offensive play. They're defensive units. And, my god. His response to my mega tank. Stealth fighter, which actually, I do like. I really do like, because it forces me to buy a fighter. And Jess, she doesn't have the best aerial units, but it's only 10%. It really is. He's being so careful. My god, dude. In hindsight, that was like a very bad play. It really was. Bringing that mega tank all the way out front. Because with max force, that mutant can do quite a bit of damage to that mega tank. It really can. I'm gonna build a recon, I'm gonna build a tank. I'm gonna put the artillery right behind it. So if the Neo tank does actually decide to do something, there you go. I have an answer for it right then and there without the mega tank. And this guy's finally getting aggressive. Finally. He's sending in all of his infantry. And the wall holds. But he's also bringing back his vehicles? Why? He built a second stealth fighter. I don't get why he brought back all his vehicles, but this just allows me to kill off all of his infantry. And my recons are going to have some fun. And I'm going to fortify that wall again. Why not? And I do build a fighter. I do. Because I do need something for... I do need to do something about those stealth fighters. And he's getting dangerously close to my HQ. I am going to pull a few medium tanks and pop one of them on the HQ. And to ensure that it doesn't take a 2-turn cap, I am going to sack one of my infantry. But this Max has max blast ready. His vehicles are nowhere in vicinity. And what does he do? Well, first he captures that property towards a 20k to 18k. And then he pops max blast. Let's see the carnage of max blast, everyone. Entire comes in, kills the infantry. Infantry comes in. Second infantry comes in, while mine is dead. What else is max kill? With his super. Damage is the... oh my goodness. Battlecopter comes in, 1 HP. Neotank comes in against my Neotank, 4 HP. Regular tank comes in, 1 HP. Recon comes in, 2 HP. Battlecopter comes in, 2 HP. Medium tanks lives. Okay, well, here's my weak side covered. Now on to my strong side. Infantry kill. Let's see, another infantry kill. Okay. You're really doing stuff, buddy. Oh my god. Another infantry kill. Wow. Okay, recon kill. Infantry. Then we got another recon. Okay, then we got an infantry. And then a tank. So recon, infantry, tank. Okay, good. And then RT. Alright. Medium tank. That's a good kill. That one's a good kill. And then infantry. Another tank. Infantry, and then infantry. Infantry that he bought. Okay, so in his turn, he has killed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 infantry, 2 recons, 2 tanks, and 1 artillery, and 1 medium tank. Medium tank was a good kill. It really was. Now that was a good Neo. What he has just done is deliver every single one of his direct combat vehicles to my doorstep. Because I now have overdrive active. $280K. Watch that number drop down. Let's see, and I am also going to take note of what I kill. So we got a tank. We got anti-air. We got... And I'm moving my infantry up to the city to check if that stealth fighter is there. So... Battlecopter. We got infantry. We got... Look, like I said, this is with max blast, by the way. I did 2 damage. That was an 8 HP Neo. I only took 2 damage back. That was a good medium tank. Speaking of tank, there's the tank kill. Here's another tank kill. I don't even need to look at the screen for that one. And then Battlecopter. And then I don't even need to look at the screen for this one either. Whose grit can kill that one. And oh, that was a good tank. And the Mega Tank actually gets some use besides an infantry kill. There's another Neo. Let's see, and then 1 tank. Damage that, and then do I get the kill on this? Yes, I do. That's another anti-air down. And then Spider comes in and takes down the other battlecopter. Yeah, that's all the battlecopters. It's just the stealth fighters that are left. Let's see, and then another tank kill. That was a backwards end. And I go for a tank because I have such an overwhelming amount of tanks there. I'm not worried about the anti-air. I'm more worried about that tank. Tank. Infantry. And my goodness. 121k. This guy has lost so much in that previous turn. He's killed more units than on his turn. Yes, he did. But 10 of those units were infantry. Meanwhile, only one of his that I have killed was infantry. Here's Uns. Oh my god. Let's take a look at the stats on this one. 54 kills to 40. 35 infantry, 10 tanks, 2 anti-air, 4 battlecopters, and 3 Neos. Meanwhile, I have lost 31 infantry, 2 recons, 1 RD, 5 tanks, and 1 medium tank. That is nuts. Just the value difference on that. This isn't a proper demonstration of how well Jess's walls can hold up. It's not. Because Max's tanks were completely out of position. They really were. They were all the way up by his HQ, and I'm all the way down here by my bases. Like, I really don't know what... I really don't know. If you're going to attack, then you need to go all in. At that point, you need to commit to it. Not just send half of your force down and bring the other half back. No, because then that half force is going to get wiped out. It's going to get annihilated because the entire army is there. Like, he sacked every single one of his infantry that was on that side. Every single one of them. And for what? Just to damage mine? Max is powerful enough to a point where he can one-shot infantry, like, just right then and there. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, here, hang on. Max recon to... So on planes, that recon, like, it's going to be left with nothing. It really is. And then with max force, there's a chance it can knock it out. I'm not even going to talk about max blast, because with max blast, yeah, it's going to knock it out no matter what. And this is with 10% defense. Like on roads, it already has a chance to knock it out. Part of me wish this max kept going. Because there's 2 stealth fighters on the board right now. And yes, his ground army is completely wiped out. And in order to have a good air force, you do need a good ground force. I do stand by that. However, with 2 stealth fighters, it gets a little bit difficult to track them. It really does. And the only unit that can actually hit a stealth fighter that I will realistically get as Jess is an actual fighter. I'll be investing 20k each turn into a fighter, just to ensure that those stealth fighters can't do anything. So I do wish that he tried like that approach, but with so many vehicles right now, there's so many vehicles. Okay, I don't think there's anything that this max could have done after he just sacked every single one of his units like that. Either that or this guy got really impatient. I wish I was able to give a proper demonstration, but I'm just going to have to sell for this. Maybe that defense showed just how hard Jess can punch back. I just know that that was a very good counterattack. I'm just glad the Mega Tank and the Rockets got to do something. Hell, even the fighter did something. Every single unit I purchased did something. I'm proud of that.